All right, guys, welcome back to another New Legacy podcast. I'm with my man right here, Billionaire Bays. We're in Dallas, Texas, and we spent all day shooting some amazing content today, and I got to know the man. And, you know, his lifestyle and everything is freaking crazy. Thank you for the Nobu treatment today.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm happy you got to make it to Dallas, man. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to y'all's tradition after this. But it's like 2 or 3 in the morning right now. But hey, we're rocking it. We got my espresso right here. I'm ready to rock. We're about to give out some sauce. So.
Yeah, I mean, freaking, you know, like we started early we started last night.
Yeah.
And we've been going, so it's like about 2 a.m. right now, and it's a late night podcast, but you got to make it. You know?
Yeah, no, this is part of it, man. I laid down for about 10 minutes, took a little cat nap, and you were calling me like, come on down, get your ass down here, let's get to work. So yeah. I'm excited, bro. This is what we asked for, man. It's, you know, on your own time, you eat what you kill. So let's get it.
So beside having nice teeth, how did your journey started? Like, where would it all this started?
Yeah, man. So you know, it's so funny. You know, I come from humble beginnings like a lot of people. And, you know, I really just grew up like a lot of people trying to figure it out. You know, I didn't have a lot of role models. I grew up, you know, a single parent household, you know, say boohoo, sad story, Black American dad story. So I grew up just with my mom, you know, probably from the 6th grade up until maybe even my senior year of high school. We moved almost every year, getting evicted, you know, bouncing from house to house. You know, no lights, cold water, a lot of stuff that, you know, I thought was normal until I really got to college and realized a lot of the trauma that I had grown up with was not normal. But, you know, grew up troubled child, really, you know, getting kicked out of high school, multiple high schools for fighting, going to alternative school. And you know, my mom decided to put me in football, and that's kind of where my journey really picks up. And, you know, I get into playing football. I go off to college and play football. And some of that stuff from my past ends up catching up with me, and I'm not able to successfully stay in the college, end up finishing at a smaller school in Texas, and got picked up by the Cowboys, bounced around a couple of NFL practice squads, played in Canada, got to play in Europe as well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, figured out throughout that point that I was mentally unemployable. So, you know, once I got done playing ball, they're like, athletes do well with sales, you should look into sales. So started doing that, and quickly after doing that, I was like, man, the money's not money, and I'm gonna have to like start some kind of side hustle or something like that. So, you know, started doing different business ideas, trying to really figure out my way, and you know, somehow, some way, I kept coming back to this foundation of credit, man. Like you can't do anything without it. So, it's been my journey to empowering other people.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we met a couple months ago, and you know, you still had your 9-to-5. You just started your funding company, and you know, we're almost at the end of the year, and you're about to almost cross 7 figures. Literally, like, did you know, over 100K in a month. Like, that's wild, you know. Like, for somebody like in their first business year, like, you're crushing a lot of milestones with all these new awards and stuff. Like, tell them about it.
No, it's cool. It's cool, man. So, you know, it's so crazy to me. You know, I've done a bunch of business ideas. I've tried trucking, Airbnb, mm-hmm. you know, ATMs, vending machines, and really, you know, one of the biggest things and realizations that I had this year that allowed me to really just take off in this business and reach kind of that $1 million mark in revenue, right? Because a lot of people are going to talk about, you know, profit and revenue is 2 completely different things, but that $1 million revenue mark and hitting a number that most people may not ever reach in their lifetime really just came from focusing myself up, you know, and not really being all over the place. You know, a lot of times with men, we can get distracted and, you know, chase after like shiny object syndrome. So really focusing on one thing, and you know, they say to have multiple streams of income, but really you just focus on one and you can diversify within one industry. So yeah, that's how we did it.
How do you stay, like, you know, so focused on your work, your projects and stuff? Because I noticed today you're like super focused. You catch up with all the DMs, you answer them like that. Like, it's like, you know, like when around you were like a lot of crazy stuff happened.
Yeah, no, it's hard for sure, but man, I love beautiful women. I got an expensive lady, and so if somebody got to bring home the broccoli, and she likes nice stuff, she likes expensive stuff, and shit, got to keep the money flowing so she can get what she wants. So yeah, that's what we got to do.
Like, what separates you from like other credit? People online, I see a lot of people do the credit or business funding.
Yeah. So I really like to tell people, when people ask me about myself, I like to just consider myself a relationship coach. So, I consider myself someone who helps people change their relationship as it relates to money. There's a lot of coaches online, and I never really want to do too much speaking on anybody else, but, who may have learned a little bit and then started teaching, but I actually went through the pain of having to clean my own personal credit and get access to funding and really just played it from behind the scenes for a little while, really documented the process of doing it for myself and really, started to help people out little by little before I turned it into a legit business. But the really main thing that really comes to mind too is really just relatability, right? It's like, we're not far off from me leaving my 9 to 5, and so a lot of people watching this right now might be like, dang, like I really want to start a business. I really want to live my dream life, but I don't have the money to get started, or I don't know where to get started. And, I'm just a prime example of how an everyday person can take whatever their situation is and win with it. It's like, and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you're super humble for saying that, but we've been filming all day. He's like super fit. Like he's all the angles. He works really hard.
Oh yeah, I'm that guy. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
we just getting started. I'm waiting on my coffee to cool down, y'all. So, but we just getting started though. We here.
So, like, what are some of the craziest thing? Like, you tell more about your business, and what are some of the craziest things you've seen this year so far when dealing with people with their credit and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I really just want to break this down from A to Z, because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the concept of what running a funding company is. But it's a lot of gurus online that want to talk to you about real estate, about trucking, about whatever it might be, and what they don't tell you is it takes money to make money, right? But when I talk about running a funding company, we're talking about a business model where $1,000 a month, might be my overhead, if that, where you can go crazy with a cell phone, a laptop, and Wi-Fi. And it's one of those business models where we're just helping entrepreneurs or other people get access to capital or money, basically, and then, charging them a percentage on the back end. So for simple math, if I get somebody 100,000, we make 10,000, 200,000, 20,000, so on and so forth. And, I say this all the time. It's like you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. The equivalent is running a funding company, because everybody wants ice cream. We're selling money pretty much. So it's you want to make everybody happy, sell money, because everybody's going to want it for sure. So,
yeah, I mean, what you're doing is like really crazy, because a lot of people, when they start a business, it's like they don't have access to capital, or they deal with like SBA, or they don't know all the secret sauce that you have.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And it's a foundational piece, right? When you talk about credit, the pillars of credit, being a minority, a lot of people have that kind of broken mindset of, oh, I don't need credit, I'm just going to save money. And I have family members, I grew up around murderers, hustlers, drug dealers, people who, really got it out the mud, saved their money, and just hustled their way to success, And so that's kind of where I get my ambition from. But the credit piece is just a foundational piece that if you want to start any business, as long as you have that credit intact, there's no business idea that you can't really give yourself a legitimate shot at really making it run. Because a lot of people don't realize it's like, you can start a business, but if you don't have the credit or capital to put systems in place, hire people, different things like that, then you're not going to really be able to run a business. You're going to be working in the business, but not on the business. So at that point, you just bought yourself a second job.
So, tell us more about your business. Like, what do you actually do, and like, how do you help your clients?
Yeah, so I help my clients in a number of different ways. I do offer a coaching program as well. I'll get into that in a second. But my main really focus is helping entrepreneurs from a foundational level, helping entrepreneurs clean up their personal credit. So if you're not someone who's in position credit wise, we can help you restore your credit and build it out so that you can have a strong credit profile, so that you can get approved for business funding or whatever it is that you want to get approved for. And then the second aspect of that is helping you get access to capital, right? So whenever we talk about you, for example, or anybody, for example, they might go into a bank or fill out an application. They might get 5,000, 10,000. They might get 25,000 on a great day on a business credit card. But what we've been able to do through proof of concept, I've funded over 25 million for my clients, over 75 million between my mentees and myself together for people to get access to capital. If you were to go apply for something on your own, you might get 25,000 on a good day, but through proof of concept and doing so many applications, seeing so many credit reports, we're able to make sure that our clients get 50,000, 75,000 on one business credit card. So really leveraging banking relationships that allow us to do that, and then just knowing where to get the money. So I talk about, it's something called a funding sequence. So, being able to break down a credit report and know, okay, these are the banks, these banks look at these different credit bureaus, and this is how they're going to determine how much money they want to give you and different things like that. So we do that, and we put that sequence together to get entrepreneurs access to capital. And then aside from that, we also help them start their own funding business as well. If people aren't in position credit wise, or if some people say, you know what, I don't want to get money. I don't want to take the risk. I want to just be the middleman, because everybody want to be the big dog. We all want to be the plug. We all want to be the big dog. We all want to be, Tony Montana. But, sometimes you can really just go crazy off of leverage, off of being the middleman. So, you can help other people excel and reach their goals. And that's what running a funding company is.
Yeah. I mean, freaking, you're selling like water in the desert, as a entrepreneur, and you're trying to help out other startups or people that are like, trying to get their business together.
Absolutely. Everybody needs money. I mean, think about this. I want to say, they say like 4 out of 5 businesses fail within their first 5 years. And one of the number one reasons is not having access to capital. So, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't have it, because you need to have money that you're spending on marketing. You need to have money that you can use on payroll, different things, because all businesses experience some type of seasonality.
Oh, yeah.
All businesses experience some type of seasonality.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, I do marketing for a lot of people, and, a lot of people that I'm working with, they're like newer to the business game, and it's like they only been having like good months, like back to back.
Yeah.
And then they just spend all their money, and then like a slow month come in, they're like, oh my God, like what's your take on that?
Man, so you obviously have to be responsible. So I'm first generation millionaire, right? So the money went out as fast as it came in this first go around, but and it's a learning lesson, right? So obviously you have to get that first check and fuck it up, excuse my French, but that's just part of being a business owner, the growth, the journey. The beautiful thing about running a funding company is you have practically no overhead, right? So if you're getting yourself capital, or if you're getting other people capital, really you're just doing applications, and then you're charging people based on what you get them approved for. So running a funding company, you don't really have any overhead, but just as a business owner in general, you really have to clean your business up, because it'll eat you alive if you aren't on top of that stuff.
What is the number one like biggest issue you see with a lot of like entrepreneurs that are trying to get funding and capital for their business?
Man, the biggest mistake that I see entrepreneurs make as it relates to getting capital is having an ego, man. You'd be surprised. Like, there's a lot of entrepreneurs who say, I have a 700 credit score. And it's like, okay, cool. But like, your credit report is thin. They might only have like a Santander auto loan, or like a little JCPenney credit card or something like that. And they think that their credit report is built out and structured the way that it needs to be structured. So look, I'm gonna give out some sauce. I don't always do this, but I'm gonna give out some sauce right here, because I'm with my guys Zoom. So we're gonna go crazy. And I'm gonna let them know how they gotta build their credit report out from scratch so that they can get funding. So look, a perfect credit report, this is exactly how it needs to look. So y'all got to take notes, screenshot this, make sure you save this, but we're going to go crazy. So a perfect credit report has 10 to 12 primary accounts, right? So when I say primary accounts, I mean accounts that you are the primary account holder of. So credit cards, student loans, auto loans, mortgages. What a lot of people don't know is you can backdate your rent. So you can report your rent. So for example, I live in this penthouse. I'm going to transition to getting a Lamborghini and some more expensive things. So being able to report a $7,000 a month rent on my credit looks really good, because they can backdate that, because I've been living here 4 or 5 years, right? So you want to have that. No collections, no late payments. So your credit report is your adult GPA. You don't want to have anything negative on your reputation, y'all. So you don't want to have any collections, no late payments, no derogatory marks. And then last but not least, no hard inquiries. 2 hard inquiries or less, right? So this is what I tell people all the time. Nobody wants the girl that everybody's been with. Everybody wants the girl that nobody can get, right? So whenever we talk about going and getting funding from the banks, when the banks take a look at your credit, they don't want to look at it and see like, okay, his credit report's been hoarded around. So a lot of times when you see people going to get an auto loan, they have 20 hard inquiries, and those dealerships will take people's credit through the mud. So you want to have no increase because the banks want to believe that you're only doing business with them. So that's what the credit report looks like. And then you want to have at least 4 years of age. So you can add trade lines to help get you there. And then once you have that, I mean, we can get busy. We can go and get 150,000 with no proof of income at all. As long as you have that credit report set up, 150,000 on the low end, but we can go and get upwards of 250,000 in 0% interest business funding, and we can go crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you're giving these entrepreneurs like a big like one up when they're starting their business, you know. And what is the one thing, like, do you give any like financial advice if they don't want to like fuck up the loans or like spend it on dumb stuff? Like, how do you help them with that part?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, if you can't stand what do they say, if you can't stand the heat, stay out the kitchen. So that's like my biggest thing. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, everybody wants to minimize their risk, right? But what this country has been built on is other people's money, other people's energy, other people's ideas. And so if you really want to grow and build a sustainable business, you are going to have to leverage other people's money, because the biggest businesses carry the largest debt, right? So I think I saw something the other day, like Amazon's profit margin is like 7% or something like that. So think about how much money they're spending on payroll, on marketing, on so many different things. Tupperware, I think, just went bankrupt. They had like a debt of like 700 million. So really, and I'm about to get in my bag some more too, but this is where really just one of the things that I think about all the time, because the multi-billion-dollar businesses, they carry debts of hundreds of millions. So you literally cannot make money unless you're going to be willing to spend money, right? So business comes down to a numbers game. If you can make 5,000, if you can make 10,000, you can make 100,000. So whatever it is that you're doing to make that number, you just need to figure out how to quantify that or pour gasoline on that fire so that you can 10x whatever that is. So you have to be willing to take those risks. Otherwise, you're just going to find yourself staying in the same place, because we do everything from a place of not knowing, right? Mm-hmm. Crawling, walking, driving. If they gave us our driver's license once we had the most experience, we would never get our driver's license, right? Because you have to start somewhere. So you have to be willing to take that risk. Obviously, you want to have a game plan for the money and be responsible. One of the biggest things I tell people is start doing some stuff in your business. And then once you have a good idea, proof of concept, then you can scale from there.
I mean, I see you with a lot of like big name entrepreneurs. I see you with a lot of like people in the credit space. I see you with Batman Cavill. I see like with a lot of big names. Like, was that your strategy to get like your name out? Because you made a lot of money very fast. Most people don't make that much money their first year in business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So speaking kind of, just piggybacking on the thing we talk about risk, is a lot of people are scared shitless to take risks. Like me, like I'm a risky individual, right? So I'm playing all offense, right? So you're not going to be able to really get ahead in life unless you're willing to take those type of risks. And one of the things that I quickly realized was, hey, if I really want to live a certain type of lifestyle, my mom's not going to be able. How can my mom teach me how to be a millionaire? She hasn't never been a millionaire. How can my grandma teach me how to be a millionaire? She's never been a millionaire. And they damn sure don't know anything about credit or funding. So how can they teach me about anything that they've never done, right? So when it comes to being successful, you have to be willing and do what it takes to put yourself around people that are living your dream lifestyle, or their daily life is your dream lifestyle, right? And the closer you can get to those people, you can essentially piggyback off their success. And it just really allows you to skip the mistakes and really just kind of get ahead. So, I'm a person that has no ego. I'm very humble. I play all offense. And so if somebody appears to be ahead of me or even on my level, I feel like I can learn something from everybody. So, and that's the mindset that you have to have. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to let that ego go. You got to be willing to learn, man, because you're not going to be able to get ahead. If you knew what to do already, you would have done it, So I have so many people, and I'm sure you get this all the time. Mm-hmm. People come into our DMs and they're like, well, this is what I need. And it's like, okay, well, why haven't you done it? And it's like, if you know exactly, it's like the person's like, I need to start working out and get on a diet, and I need to do this and that. It's like, okay, well, like, do it. Like, what are you waiting on? Like, why? You don't need me to tell you what you need to do. So a lot of people aren't willing to let that ego go, and getting in position, getting around people, and being willing to drop that ego is what can really propel you to be successful in a short amount of time. Because I turned up in a short amount of time, short amount of time.
Yeah, like, freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just me from seeing you at the event at True Lane. Like, I was like, what the heck? He's coming out of the gate hot. But yeah, I mean, you did the tour with the big names, and then like you accelerated like crazy. A lot of people, you know, as you're growing, I think, how many followers do you have right now?
I think I'm closing in on 40,000. I hope I don't get a lot out of nowhere because
Yeah.
I hear people say like, you know, they feel like I'm not gonna respond because I have a lot of followers. I'm like, damn, I don't even have, I know people that got 300,000-400,000. I'm not even.
Yeah, no,
I'm on my way. You know?
I mean, you grew substantially since the last time like we met.
Yeah,
only like a
absolutely.
couple months ago.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the amount of DMs you showed me today, like, is freaking like crazy. Like,
Nuts, yeah. Trap jumping. I've been saying all day. The trap is jumping, y'all. The trap is jumping. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's blessed. Great problems to have. Great problems to have.
So you do teach this in your course and your program for your students to get some leads, right? Like, what's this? Like, can you share a little bit? You know, like the secret sauce.
I give a little sauce. So look, this is what I'll say, man. This is what I'll say. So I really, as it relates to running an online business, running any kind of program, I'm never gonna try to position myself as somebody who knows it all, right? Because I can only tell you what works for me, and I know how to make money on Instagram. I'm still working on mastering some other platforms, but I feel like I've developed a sense of expertise on Instagram and how to generate leads on Instagram and win with that. So I have a couple of different programs, but I'm gonna share some sauce kind of on how to generate leads. I really don't want to let the game go, but I'm gonna let it go because I've been keeping this in the tuck. So look, let's start with just finding clients for any business, right? So let's start with organic. We're not gonna get into ads right off the bat. Let's start with organic. You know, I have people going crazy in my program from one thing that I tell them to do, and it's so simple. You know, everybody has one of these. Everybody has one of these, and it's so simple. All you have to do, one of the top ways to get clients, is to think of a message and just send it out to people in your phone. And you know you can get clients like that. That's so crazy, right? But people overthink that. So let's go to the next step. So the next thing I really like to do is I teach people, and there's some real sauce right here. I can't believe I'm about to give this out, but
write it down, right?
Instant data scraper. I don't know if you've ever heard of instant data scraper, but it's a little techie. I learned this from being in my sales role, and we used to have to be able to generate leads, or we used to have to like do cold calling, cold outreach, different things like that. An instant data scraper, it's a Google extension, a Google Chrome extension. It looks like a Pokeball. And what instant data scraper allows you to do is it allows you to go to any website. So you can search a real estate website, you can search a construction website, you can search whatever type of website might have your ideal leads or ideal clientele on there. You can click this button and it'll scrape this entire website for telephone numbers and emails. And you got a free CSV of people that you can reach out to. And you can go crazy with cold outreach and just copy and paste the message to them. Or even you can go crazy with a free platform like MailChimp or a trial on Go High Level and just blast everybody with a text message.
Bro, you got that down, right?
And that's just and so that's on the organic side, obviously, right? And then you know, we can post on Facebook, we can reach out to people, but once people are ready to, so you can go crazy. I'd say maybe 5,000 to 15,000 a month with those strategies, and that's something that I personally did when I was starting out my credit repair and funding company. But the next part that really allowed me to grow to that 30 to 50K per month range consistently, and this works for any online coach, is really generating leads on Instagram through ads, right? So you shared some sauce with me earlier this week that I stopped doing, but I really want to continue to give back. So we're gonna share the game. So your Instagram is a resume, right? So your Instagram is your resume. Whether you're trying to get the hottest chick or you're trying to make money, your Instagram is your resume. That's just like the modern day business card. So the Instagram, you want to make sure that your Instagram is just completely optimized. So first things first, we got to have a bio. So before we even get to the ads, we don't want to just throw money in the fireplace. We don't like to waste money. So we like to optimize our bio, have a bio that lets people know when they land on your page what it is you do. And then when you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of digital assets, and what I mean by digital assets is we don't have crazy fire content on your page, you really want to make sure that you have maybe a lifestyle post pinned on your page, another post pinned on your page that tells what you do, and then maybe just, you know, another post with some results or testimonials. So once you have those things on your page, then you can start to get busy. Now I'm gonna give out some sauce because once you start, I'm already giving out some sauce, but once you start to try to bring in clients and stuff like that or run ads, you're gonna realize people are gonna be like, oh, this page looks a little empty. They don't have any followers. It looks spammy with screenshots. So this is how I grew my Instagram to 20,000 followers, and I think I was at like the $4,000 or $5,000 follower range in October. And this one thing is what allowed me to get like 20,000 followers in the month of October, and finish the year with 27,000 followers. So you can post memes on your page. So I talk about your Instagram being your resume, right? So you want to drive traffic to your resume. So you can post memes on funny, motivational, relatable content. You can post memes on your page in the form of reels, and the algorithm favors that stuff. And then it's going to flood those people because any of those can catch, any of those can go viral. And the algorithm will bring those people to your page. And then they'll say, like, for example, with my page, I had a funny meme go viral. I had like 120 million views or something on it. And I had people come to the page like, oh shit, like this is funny. This dude does credit too. Let me shoot him a DM. Yeah. So that's the way that you can gain those followers. So once you start to build that traction, then you can begin to implement ads. I wouldn't tell anybody just to start wasting money on ads right out the gate, because you're going to be running ads to a page that essentially doesn't really have anything on it, or doesn't have, a lot of proof of concept on it, because you want to have your page optimized and set up. So once you have your page optimized and set up, you might have 10,000 followers. Maybe go ahead and buy a blue check. It just makes you look more official. Meta has that now that you can buy that. So it makes you look more official, makes you look more trustworthy, reliable, because those are important things, especially when we're dealing with whatever industry. In my industry, we deal with people's sensitive information. So you definitely got to have that. Yeah. So once you start to generate those leads, or once you start to optimize that, then you can begin to generate leads. So I like to run follower ads. I like to just hit a boost post. And this is some secret sauce. You got to make sure that you boost the post on your browser so Apple doesn't charge you that service fee if you have an Apple phone. So look, I like to boost posts like a lifestyle post. I've been going crazy with just a picture of me with my shirt off on a jet ski. And I've been getting like a lot of clients coming in. Yeah. I've been getting some people coming in, some women thirsty in my DMs too. So watch out. You might get all the ladies if you start doing that too. So I like to just boost a lifestyle post, and it brings that traffic to my page, or brings that traffic to your page. And then people will look at your digital assets and say like, oh, he does credit. I was looking to get my credit fixed. Or, oh, he's a fitness trainer. Or, oh, he does media, whatever it might be. And that will allow that following to climb, and you'll generate leads from that as well. And not only that, we also like to do a boost post with messenger conversion. So there's some secret sauce. I was doing the boost post, and I was doing some outreach. You shared some sauce with me, and I've been doing the trap been jumping, like I said, the trap been jumping. So you do a boost post with the messenger as a conversion, and you just sit back and watch those leads come in, and you got to have the right systems in place to deal with it. But you start with, 10 to $30 a day. A lot of people think ads are super expensive. Ads don't even cost that much. You can go crazy and start to see some consistent lead flow. Now, I can't sell to people for you, but I can bring them to your page. So
yeah, that's the biggest thing with marketing, everything. Like, you get that batch of people. If you're not a good closer, it won't close. But that same another person can be a better closer, and they get the same batch, it's still close. It's like
absolutely. You can't fuck it up. This is one of the things I realized as of lately. I'm past the point of trying to convince people that they need to win. I'm past the point of trying to convince people that what they need, right? It's like, because I'm realizing a loser is going to find a way to lose at the end of the day. It's like you can give them the exact game plan, the exact playbook. You could make all the circumstances and scenarios perfect, and a loser is going to find a way to fuck it up. So you got to just give people the information and give them a nudge. But until the person is ready to accept that change and take those strides and have the right frame of mind, it doesn't matter. You give them a perfect plan.
That's freaking crazy. How do you get people to overcome their fear and take action?
Man, so I'm in a place of like I said, I'm past the point of trying to convince people, to overcome their fear. I really just try to get people to understand that you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your loved ones. You owe it to yourself to live the best life that you can possibly live, right? You owe it to yourself to live the best life that you can possibly live. Your loved ones deserve to experience the absolute best version of you. And this is what I tell people. Life is going to be hard anyways, whether you want you want it to be hard when you're broke or you want it to be hard with money. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like life is going to go by anyway. So really, it's one of those things where you have a lot, if you're broke or wherever you might be in life, you have a lot farther to go up than you do down. So it's like, it's so crazy. And this is something that blows my mind. It's like the people who are in our position, we take the most risk. And you have people that are barely getting by who are like afraid to invest a couple $100 or $1,000 into themselves or can't fathom the idea that, what if I pay Basil $10,000 or $15,000, and he makes multiple six figures a month. Like if I make $100,000 in a month, of course I can show you how to make 10% of that. Like that's nothing. So,
obviously you have a lot of clients too. And like, what about those who like are skeptic on like your programs or so? I mean, you even have like a $99 program.
Yeah, man. So, and that goes to my entire point. It's like you have some people who, and this is a problem with society right now, man. You have a lot of people who want to invest the absolute least, do the absolute least, and expect a great return. And unfortunately, that's how society has wrapped things up. We have a lot of people that are entitled. This is so profound, and this is a shift, and it's just coming to me that I'm just thinking about this. Is like, to be successful, you literally just have to like walk in the right direction. Like there's so many people that are going the wrong way that like you don't even have to like outwork them to beat them. Like if you literally just walk in the right direction, then like you can pass up like 99% of people because they're lazy as fuck. Like lazy. And they're just afraid to invest in themselves. Like people don't realize that like information changes situations. So it's like, when I think about like a product that I have, right? So when I was coming up, I had to like really understand and bump my head against the wall cleaning my credit. And now I have a product in place where it's like, if you join my community where I teach you everything about credit, everything about funding, and I help you get access to capital, help you get approved for your dream car, help you get a mortgage, whatever it is that you want, and you get access to free credit repair, I charge $99 for that service. And people will be like, how do I know with the utmost guarantee that I'm going to get a 700 credit score? And it's like, you mess your credit up over a span of 10 years. You can't expect it to be fixed in 10 days. And really at the end of the day, it's like $99 isn't going to change my life, but $99 can change your life. So it's $99. Like we say yes to hookah. We say yes to shots. We say yes to DoorDash. We said yes to Cane's the other night. me. But it's like we say yes to so many things except for the things that are going to actually better our lives. So, when it comes to investing in yourself, you got to take that risk, man. I've been scammed by so many people, and I won't even say scam. If you keep investing in the programs, courses, different things, and you're not getting results, it might not be the program. It might be time to like look into the mirror and figure out, what you're doing wrong.
So what type of mindset does an individual need in order to succeed in the market at this time? Like I know you grew really fast this year, but you're an athlete, like let's talk about a normal person.
Yeah. So honestly, and like I said, you don't even have to be going in the right direction, right? So I just want to talk about some mindset shifts that I made that really allowed me to like be successful in a short amount of time. And a lot of people don't realize that if you can just make these mindset shifts, you can see your life change completely overnight. It's like a light bulb went in my head. So like one of the first things that I realized is like, we don't get paid based on, how hard we work. We get paid based on the level of value we provide, right? So, just to give you an example, I have housekeepers that come and clean my apartment biweekly. Love them to death, the sweetest people. They probably work a lot harder than I do. I don't want to say that because I work pretty damn hard, but they work hard. They work really hard. Even a multi-billion-dollar corporation, the people that are working in the warehouse are probably working a lot harder than the CEO is, who's just delegating different tasks. And so you might argue that a school teacher works a lot harder than, someone who's just coding or doing consulting or speaking on stage, whatever it might be, right? So there's different levels of hard, but, or a professional athlete, there's different levels of hard or different levels of difficulty, but why is it that a professional athlete gets paid a lot more than a school teacher? And it's because they serve a lot more people. So when you put yourself in position to serve more people, when you put yourself in position to just provide a higher level of value, not that all these jobs that we're talking about aren't valuable, but it's like, someone who can build you a house is going to make a lot more money than someone who's just going to come clean the house for you. Because you can only go so far trading your time for money. So, we get paid for our value based on, on different levels of exchange of value, but super simple stuff, like a lawyer obviously gets paid more than, somebody that is cutting grass. No offense to anybody that's cutting grass, but, you get paid based on a level of value. The second mindset shift that I really made, and I had to unlearn this because we learn this a lot and people say it all the time. And I try to correct people whenever I come in contact with people, but people always say like, time is money. Like time is money, time is money. And I'm like, I used to always think that, and I used to always believe that, like, yeah, time is money, time is money. But like, time isn't money. Like time is actually a lot more valuable than money. Because, whenever we think about the concept of money, why would you want to have your time equal to money? A lot of people have the concept of time tethered to the concept of money, and it gets them nowhere. And that's why whenever you talk about things like making 100,000 in a month, making $1 million in a month, making $1 million in a year, people say, well, that's a scam. That can't be real because it's like, I'm working 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, and I'm only making 5,000 a month. So how could a person possibly make 100,000 in a month? Because there's not enough hours in a day for me to work enough to make 100,000. That's why you see a lot of people who instead of doing something to create or provide a higher level of value, they think, oh, I'm just gonna get a second job. Yep. I got 2-3 jobs. And it's like, well, you're not really getting ahead. You're just like running in the hamster wheel. But that's where having that concept of time tethered to money is like, why would I want to like use a limited resource and use that to try to get me an infinite like outcome? Like, why would I want to like correlate those two things? Like, I don't want my time correlated to money at all because on any given day, I make 10,000 before 10 a.m. and shit, we're working out and eating ice cream on the couch after that, Yeah. And I have my laptop on me. Don't get me wrong, we're working constantly, but it's just a different mindset. If you have to work, why not get paid a lot for your work? Why would you want to work a lot harder than you have to? And so that's a mindset shift that I really made that has just completely changed my life because, it allows you to start to pursue and look at things that allow you to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And that's what I've been able to do. I was able to find something while working a 9-to-5 that allowed me to make a lot of money in a short amount of time because I didn't have a lot of time because I worked a 9-to-5. So as I was working my job, I would, on the side, on my lunch break, do applications for clients to get them business funding. And I would give somebody a $100,000 loan in an hour while I'm on lunch break, and I charge 10%, and I make 10,000. I'm like, fuck. Well, I don't make 10,000 working 2 months at my 9-to-5. Yeah. And so being able to like free yourself from those things and make those mindset shifts can allow you to just completely change your life in a short amount of time. And that's what it did for me.
Yeah. I mean, from seeing like your penthouse and everything like that behind the scene, it's very clean and clear. Like, and the frequency is really good, up there. Like what's your take on that?
Yeah. So I actually believe you really have to put your back against the wall. If you don't put your back against the wall, you'll never really be able to see what you're capable of. And I'm not saying go empty out your bank account to, take a risk, which that's something that I've been doing up to this point. I've gotten to this point by being willing to continue to empty my bank account and bet on myself, to get to the next level because I had a lot farther to go up. But, I think I heard somebody say your frequency is what you frequently see. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if you're hanging around people that are all driving Lambos, you're not gonna, like, your brain is not gonna be able to understand why you should drive a Camry or something. It's like, no, like I drive a Lambo. That's what I should see. So it's like being that high up, being in the penthouse, being able to overlook, the city with those floor to ceiling windows, it just puts me in a different space and a different level of energy that I can create from knowing that my view is just different, and it doesn't help, like I said, and it helps that the shit is expensive. So I'm like, I gotta keep it going and I said, women are expensive, so you gotta pick one that's within your budget and stick with her. But the one that I got, it's a bill. she got I got in my budget. I got a section just for her, spending money on her. She don't know. I won't tell her what that number is because I don't want her trying to hit it every month. But that's the money I gotta allocate to making sure she taken care of every month for sure. So.
The fiscal budget. But no, I mean, even us, filming, being up there, it's just like a different type of energy, just overlooking Dallas. And this place is very nice, clean and stuff. But like this, I don't know, it just like feels so, you're just looking at the city and grinding. It's like crazy. Yeah,
no, it's crazy. And that's a beautiful part, man, about kind of where I am in a season of life is like, it's so crazy that all my days look the same, right? For the most part, all my days like look the exact same, but it seems like the more money I make, the less harder I work. And I never really understood kind of how that works, but it's like the more money I make, the less work I have to do. And it just is one of those things where it's like when you put yourself in position, you start to pursue things where you can make an unlimited resource, and there's no time tethered to how much money you make. It's like, shit, I might not make any money for 2, 3, 4 days, and then I might make 30,000 that day. And it's just like, you just got to manage your expectations and your finances at that point.
All right. So obviously, with all the success you have this year, I'm sure there's some moments that, things doesn't go your way. How do you deal with stuff like that?
Man, the way that you deal with things that don't really go your way is just taking a deep breath, sleeping on it. Man, one of the biggest things that has helped me a lot has been having a supportive partner, somebody that I can vent to, having other people that are on the same journey as me, having close people that you can network with. But that's just part of being a business owner. I took a $40,000 loss in a day, this year. And me trying to overcorrect that turned it into an $80,000 loss. And that was one of the ones that I didn't think that I was going to come back from. And that was early on this year, like before I had really, decided to put my foot on the gas and really, overcoming that was just a matter of, not letting my emotions and my head, get the best of me and just continuing to push through. Because eventually, you'll break through that barrier and if you give up, then you'll never reach your goal. So it's like, why not push through? Life keeps on going anyway. So
it really does. The rent keeps coming. The bills keep coming.
I'm telling you, and they only raising it. It's not like it's not like it's gonna stay the same. It's not fixed rent.
Yeah, no, I mean, looking crazy. Like, as an entrepreneur, like you always have to you're like a fish. Like has to keep going, taking new risks.
Absolutely.
To, go hunting. It's crazy.
Absolutely. We talked about that earlier, talked about, allocating the risk budget because you have to be willing to innovate. You have to be willing to stay ahead of the curve because, if you're not getting better, then, if you're not growing, you're staying stagnant, so you have to be willing to take risks. You have to play offense and staying ahead of the curve, just allows you to be continuously mentioned at the top of the top, as it relates to your industry. It allows you to continue to bring in new clients. So you got to be willing to drop those nuts and drag them on the ground.
So a lot of people, even in the media space for me, they're afraid to get on camera.
Okay.
And within a short amount of time, you did get on camera.
Yeah.
And what is your take on that? And what are some tips and tricks you can help people just overcome that? Because that is the biggest separator between, modern day business and traditional business, because now everything's way more transparent.
Yeah, the way that you break through being shy about getting on camera or not want to get on camera, not want to create content is just understanding comfortability equals poverty. I've been. We talked whenever we first met. I was speaking at that event, and I was scared shitless. That was like one of my first speaking engagements, and the only way that you can get better is just jumping out there and doing it. Instagram has like a go live feature where you can practice going live, starting to practice, talking to yourself on camera, different things like that. And once you start to get that practice, eventually it gets to the point where it becomes more comfortable. But I still to this day don't really like to talk on camera, but it's kind of one of those things of like, once you start to become an online coach or you offer any kind of service or any type of business and you realize every time I post, it's money attached to these posts or somebody will be messaging me, you're like, I gotta get over that bullshit and I gotta create. So
yeah, I mean, it's just, for a media company, for us to see other people transform and like you're leaving a trail behind, and then like people see they go back on your page and they see how you actually do it. I think that's like a lot of value.
Yeah, no, it's dope for sure. And the growth is like when you're in the grind, it's really hard to see that like you're making progress and that you're growing as a person, growing as a speaker, growing as a business owner. But if you just keep going, eventually you'll look up and you'll be, exactly where you dreamed of.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true because like when you're in the grind or like when you're in the battlefield, you don't see the main war. You're just like, oh shit, I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. It's like it's like working out, right? It's like when you're doing curls or something in the mirror, it's like you can see yourself getting a pump. But if you're doing cardio, you can't see yourself getting in shape. But it's like one of those things where it's like you just have to keep doing it, and you look up and you'll be a lot farther, than where you started.
Yeah. How do you sustain motivation?
Motivation comes and goes, bro. You sustain motivation by not paying attention to motivation because as an entrepreneur, I find days where I'm not motivated. So that's another thing you have to detach. You can't attach your productivity to your motivation because especially as a business owner, if your days are the same, a lot of bullshit is going to come your way. And if you only want to work when you're motivated, then you probably won't ever get any work done. So most days I don't want to work out and I still get my ass up and work out. So you have to just put those habits in place, figure out what those things are that are non-negotiables for you. Rain, sleet, or snow, it's like I have to work out.
Yeah.
I have to post. I have to go live. I have to do whatever those essential things are for your business or for your life that just help you function. And you just got to make them non-negotiables. Yeah.
Freaking like, that's the biggest factor I've seen from.
Fuck your motivation. Yeah. I don't get motivation is fuck the motivation, man. You gotta just
stick to it.
Yeah, you gotta stick to it. Excuse my French, man. I don't know if I can cuss on here, so
you could.
We're gonna bleep that out.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So closing out this big year, it looks like you have a Lambo coming up soon.
Hey, man, why you're not supposed to be telling them that? We working on that. We got 2 weeks left, and I'm about to have to give Uncle Sam some money, or I got to figure something out. So if y'all got suggestions on anything I can do to spend some money on so I don't have to cut the IRS a check, let me know.
It's freaking crazy. I mean, congratulations on being your first year in business and having that problem.
Yeah, no, seriously.
A lot of people just have a net loss.
It's a blessing, man. Yeah. It's a blessing.
And what are some goals you have for 2025?
Man, I want to, I talked about revenue. I talked about my first year in business doing, $1 million. I really want to, this upcoming year, I want to take it farther than I've taken it. I really want to stretch the limit. I feel as if I missed out on a lot of money. I missed out on a lifestyle that I was supposed to be living and all the time that I was pursuing, trying to go pro in football. And so this is a separation season. So I want to pocket $1 million. That's really my main goal. I want to have $1 million liquid that I can just look at it, wake up and get chills. I want to pocket $1 million. I really want to just help more people get access to capital. I want to educate more people. I want to reach more people because if I can continue to serve more people, then I know I'm going to reach my goal. So, if I can help however many business owners get access to capital, if I can help 100 business owners get 100,000, I think that's $1 million. I think 100 times 100,000 $1 million. I could be wrong. Yeah. But if I can do that, then I know I'm going to be able to make my $1 million or net my $1 million at least anyway. So that's one of my main goals. I don't really want to get engaged. I really want to get a Lamborghini. Hopefully my girl doesn't see this podcast, but I'm going to be getting engaged. So, I do want to. If you've seen this, baby, I'm sorry. I do want to get engaged, but I really want the Lamborghini. I'm going to get engaged likely. And really, I just want to turn it up, man. I want to serve more people. I want to go harder on content. And I really just want to separate myself from everybody else in my industry, really position myself as the top dog, because I see myself as the best already, but it's just a matter of everybody else finding that out. So, you might see this later on or this is going to blow up. So I know, but you'll be able to come back to this and say I called it, but I'm going to be that guy. Yeah, for sure.
Like, you mentioned.
I'm already that guy, but
Yeah. Like you mentioned that, like you wake up and you make, 10K. Like, how do you, and I had that before too. Like, how do you sustain motivation all day after that? And not like want to go celebrate and stuff. Like, that's the biggest thing. Actually.
Yeah, so I think you sustain motivation when you make money. Like I said, whenever you have just your goals centered around things that aren't fleeting, that aren't like material. Like I said, I don't really focus on motivation. I grew up really, really, not in the best circumstances. Like I said, constantly getting evicted. I got kicked out of high school, my first high school for getting into a gang fight. And, just growing up, seeing my mom struggle and seeing her some days say she wasn't hungry, and she only had coins to go buy a Little Caesar's pizza for $5 and her saying she's not hungry and me and my sister know she's hungry, but it's just not enough for all of us to eat. And those types of things are the things that really kind of keep me going and really help me stay grounded and understand, like, I'm not doing shit. Like, I made 10,000 this morning, but it's somebody that probably made $1 million, this morning. So, and I have to keep going and just understanding, man, it's like, and that's the experience of being a business owner. It's like, shit, I might not make 10,000 for another 5-6 days. I'll be like, damn, is everything broken? I gotta, like, am I going out of business? So you gotta really manage those emotions and not pay attention to that motivation, man. It's paper. It's all just, money is just paper. It's not real. And just as quick as it comes in, it can be gone. And I've had nothing for a lot longer than I've had a lot of money. So I just stay grounded and understand that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
That's super powerful. It's crazy. So, let's say you travel back in time and you meet your like 18-year-old version. So this is for like all the young, adults that are in their 20s, debating if they should go to college or not, or so. Like, give them some wisdom that you wish you knew when you're like in your early 20s. Man,
my early 20s, some wisdom that I would say, and one of the things that I'm really kind of realizing now is I really wish I would have just enjoyed life more, man. I think, I was very serious for a long time. I was very focused and fixated on making it to the NFL. And when that didn't happen, it left me depressed. I didn't know what I was going to do. I bounced around from idea to idea, job to job, not making more than $40,000 a year, driving for UPS and FedEx. And now I look up and I spent $40,000 this month and we're not even at Christmas time. I didn't buy any Christmas gifts or anything, I don't think. Yeah. So it's just kind of one of those things where I wish I would have enjoyed myself a lot more and understood that you really can get rich from pursuing your purpose and pursuing your passion. College was what it was. I went to college so that I could make it to the NFL. So obviously, if college is something that you really want to do, I say go do it, for the networking purposes. But start getting that credit right. I'm biased. So it's like, you got to get that credit right. You need to come find me and I can help you build it out. $99 a month, figure out whatever it takes to get that money so that you can get that foundational skill, because your credit's going to be able to save you. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, obviously we want to use the money responsibly, but you ever find yourself in a jam, you can float yourself with those expenses and having access to that capital. So, if you want to live an average life, you can continue to go to college and you can get a job to just get by, or you can take risks. And while you're young, and up until the age of 30, I just turned 30 last month, I want you to take the biggest fucking risk that you can take. The biggest risk. And you'll be amazed at how far you can go from doing that.
Yeah, you're taking the big swing.
drop the nuts, and drag them and swing for the fence. And you're gonna have to trap jumping like me all day, every day.
So before we close out this podcast, give the audience a little bit more about, where they could find you, how you can help them, and we'll put your contact somewhere over here. So editor, put it right here, right now,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I go by Billionaire Baze on Instagram. That's billionaire, BAZE _. You can find me on Facebook under Basil Jackson. And I'm really kind of only on Instagram and Facebook right now. You can search up Billionaire Baze on YouTube. I have plenty of podcasts and things out there where I'm giving out a lot of game, a lot of sauce. My journey has been pretty well documented, but as it relates to working with me, there's a couple of different ways we can get connected. If you're someone that wants to get access to capital, if you're a business owner or you want to start a business and you have a 700 credit score and you meet some of those criteria that I talk about, I can help you get access to capital to start, grow, or scale your dream business. Aside from that, if you're somebody that's not in position, right now I have my community for $99 a month. We are offering free credit repair to all of the members. So that's something that I definitely want you guys to take advantage of, because I didn't have that whenever I was coming up. I really bumped my head against the wall. And it's something that I'm just really doing to give back, especially with this holiday season. I know times are hard, and I wish I had a Basil Jackson or Billionaire Baze or somebody that could put me onto this credit stuff. So, I have that community going for $99. And then aside from that, I just have my coaching program. So if you're somebody that wants to start your own funding business, or wants to start your own credit repair business, I can teach you how to do just that. So I offer mentorships right now for $10,000 or $15,000. So I have a group mentorship where we meet bi-weekly. I teach you everything from A to Z on how to run a credit repair and funding business. So you essentially can clean your own credit, get yourself funding, and then leverage those two concepts to help other people do the same and make money doing that. So aside from that, I teach you how to generate leads, run your social media from that. And so that's an offer for any coach, whether you're in fitness or whatever it might be. And that offer is $10,000. And then for those that are serious and not just curious, I do offer one-on-one mentorship as well. And those people that have paid me $15,000 for that mentorship, we meet twice a week. And that's more of a relationship basis. They have my personal number, and I really am just kind of helping coach them through life. We partner on getting clients funding, doing different things. I teach them how to create their own courses, how to create ebooks, different things like that. And, you'd be amazed with these programs. I have mentees who have gotten connected to me and have completely changed their lives. I got a guy in Jersey right now. He's driving for Amazon. His first month after joining my program, he was able to make $15,000. And then I have people that just come in touch with me, and there's going to be some people popping out you're going to see here soon that are also doing six-figure months. And this isn't rocket science. It's just a matter of getting access to the right information. And you can try to go get the disorganized breadcrumbs off of YouTube, or you can make sure to tap in, and I'll teach you everything I know. And I'm not holding back.
Man, appreciate you for the podcast today.
Yeah, it's my guy. Yeah. It's like 3 a.m. right now. This is my guy's zone. So y'all gotta watch this. We going crazy right now. This is there's some people that are gonna really get some sauce from this and like really take this and run with it.
No, we're learning. Me, Brian, we're taking notes over there.
Yeah, no, we going crazy, man. We gonna have to trap jumping.
Oh, I mean, you've been
it's already jumping. Yeah,
jumping all day for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean, grateful to be here. Thank you again for the amazing food. Thank you for the amazing hospitality, and we'll see you on sometime soon.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing the Lambo reveal. So you already told them that it's coming, so we're gonna be doing a Lambo reveal here in hopefully maybe the next 2 weeks we'll see, or maybe I don't know, soon. We'll figure it out. Yeah, soon for sure.
And then after that, it's a Rolls Royce, right?
After that, it's the Cully. I should have said that. That's one of my goals. Yeah, 2025, I gotta pop out with that Cullinan as well. So, but we start baby steps. We starting with the Lamborghini, and then we're gonna go from there. So.
Freaking crazy, man. I appreciate you, and you're gonna inspire a lot of people, and your energy is so cool. It's so like genuine and like good intention. So
respect,
you're gonna
man.
go freaking far.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Thank you again, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.